The Earth is warming at an unprecedented rate. In recent years, the Earth's climate has been undergoing dramatic changes, with temperatures rising at an unprecedented rate. Scientists warn that this accelerated warming is unparalleled in recorded history, posing significant threats to ecosystems, weather patterns, and human civilization. The consequences of this rapid warming are already being felt worldwide, from melting polar ice caps to extreme weather events. Urgent action is needed to mitigate the effects of global warming and safeguard the future of our planet. As you know, climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. Such shifts can be natural, due to changes in the sun's activity or large volcanic eruptions. But since the 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change, primarily due to the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. Burning fossil fuels generates greenhouse gas emissions that act like a blanket wrapped around the Earth, trapping the sun's heat and raising temperatures. The main greenhouse gases that are causing climate change include carbon dioxide and methane. Humans are responsible for global warming. Climate scientists have showed that humans are responsible for virtually all global heating over the last 200 years. Human activities like the ones mentioned above are causing greenhouse gases that are warming the world faster than at any time in at least the last 2,000 years. The average temperature of the Earth's surface is now about 1.1 degrees Celsius, warmer than it was in the late 1800s, before the Industrial Revolution, and warmer than at any time in the last 100,000 years. Do you know that 2024 was the 8th consecutive year with the hottest January month on record? What do experts say? 2024 had the warmest January on record globally, with an average air 5 surface air temperature of 13.14 degrees Celsius, 0.7 degrees Celsius above the 1991 to 2020 average for January, and 0.12 degrees Celsius above the temperature of the previous warmest January. In 2020, this is the 8th month in a row that is the warmest on record for the respective month of the year. The global temperature anomaly for January 2024 was lower than those of the last 6 months of 2023, but higher than any before July 2023. The month was 1.66 degrees Celsius, warmer than an estimate of the January average. For 1850 to 1900, the designated pre-industrial reference period, the global mean temperature for the past 12 months, Feb 2023 January 2024 is the highest on record, at 0.6 degrees Celsius above the 1991 to 2020 average, and 1.5 degrees Celsius above the 1850 to 1900 pre-industrial average. European temperatures varied in January 2024 from much below the 1991 to 2020 average over the Nordic countries to much above average over the south of the continent. Outside Europe, temperatures were well above average over eastern Canada, northwestern Africa, the Middle East and Central Asia, and below average over western Canada, the central USA, and most of eastern Siberia. It began to weaken in the equatorial Pacific, but marine air temperatures in general remained at an unusually high level. People are experiencing climate change in diverse ways. Many people think climate change mainly means warmer temperatures.
But now,
temperature rise is only the beginning of the story, because the Earth is a system where everything is connected. Changes in one area can influence changes in all others. The consequences of climate change now include, among others, intense droughts, water scarcity, severe fires, rising sea levels, flooding, melting polar ice, catastrophic storms, and declining biodiversity. Climate change can affect our health, ability to grow food, housing, safety, and work. Some of us are already more vulnerable to climate impacts, such as people living in small island nations and other developing countries. Conditions like sea level rise and saltwater intrusion have advanced to the point where whole communities have had to relocate. And protracted droughts are putting people at risk of famine. In the future, The number of people displaced by weather-related events is expected to rise. As greenhouse gas concentrations rise, so does the global surface temperature. Each decade has been warmer than the previous one. Nearly all land areas are seeing more hot days and heat waves. Higher temperatures increase heat-related illnesses and make working outdoors more difficult. Wildfires start more easily and spread more rapidly when conditions are hotter. Temperatures in the Arctic have warmed at least twice as fast as the global average as temperatures rise. More moisture evaporates, which exacerbates extreme rainfall and flooding, causing more destructive storms. The frequency and extent of tropical storms is also affected by the warming ocean. Such storms often destroy homes and communities, causing deaths and huge economic losses. Global warming exacerbates water shortages in already water-stressed regions and is leading to an increased risk of agricultural droughts affecting crops, and ecological droughts increasing the vulnerability of ecosystems. Droughts can also stir destructive sand and dust storms that can move billions of tons of sand across continents. Deserts are expanding, reducing land for growing food. Many people now face the threat of not having enough water on a regular basis. The ocean soaks up most of the heat from global warming. The rate at which the ocean is warming strongly increased over the past 2 decades. Across all depths of the ocean, as the ocean warms, its volume increases since water expands as it gets warmer. Melting ice sheets also cause sea levels to rise, threatening coastal and island communities. In addition, the ocean absorbs carbon dioxide, keeping it from the atmosphere. But more carbon dioxide makes the ocean more acidic, which endangers marine life and coral reefs. Exacerbated by climate change, the world is losing species at a rate 1,000 times greater than at any other time in recorded human history. 1 million species are at risk of becoming extinct within the next few decades. Every year, environmental factors take the lives of around 13 million people. Changing weather patterns are expanding diseases, and extreme weather events increase deaths and make it difficult for healthcare systems to keep up. What are the solutions to climate change? The main ways to stop climate change are to pressure government and business to keep fossil fuels in the ground. Fossil fuels include coal, oil and gas, and the more that are extracted and burned, the worse climate change will get. All countries need to move their economies away from fossil fuels as soon as possible. Invest in renewable energy. Changing our main energy sources to clean and renewable energy is the best way to stop using fossil fuels. These include technologies like solar, wind, wave, tidal and geothermal power. Switch to sustainable transport. Petrol and diesel vehicles. Planes and ships use fossil fuels, reducing car use. Switching to electric vehicles and minimizing plane travel will not only help stop climate change, it will reduce air pollution too. Improve farming and encourage vegan diets. One of the best ways for individuals to help stop climate change is by reducing their meat and dairy consumption, or by going fully vegan. Businesses and food retailers can improve farming practices and provide more plant-based products to help people make the shift. Restore nature to absorb more carbon. The natural world is very good at cleaning up our emissions, but we need to look after it. Planting trees in the right places or giving land back to nature through rewilding schemes is a good place to start. This is because photosynthesizing plants draw down carbon dioxide as they grow, locking it away in soils. Protect forests like the Amazon. Forests are crucial in the fight against climate change, and protecting them is an important climate solution. Cutting down forests on an industrial scale destroys giant trees which could be sucking up huge amounts of carbon. Yet companies destroy forests to make way for animal farming, soya or palm oil plantations. Governments can stop them by making better laws. Protect the oceans. Oceans also absorb large amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which helps to keep our climate stable, but many are overfished, used for oil and gas drilling, or threatened by deep-sea mining. Protecting oceans and the life in them is ultimately a way to protect ourselves from climate change. Reduce plastic. Plastic is made from oil And the process of extracting, refining and turning oil into plastic or even polyester for clothing is surprisingly carbon intense. It doesn't break down quickly in nature, so a lot of plastic is burned, which contributes to emissions. Demand for plastic is rising so quickly that creating and disposing of plastics will account for 17% of the global carbon budget by 2050. This is the emissions count we need to stay within according to the Paris Agreement. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and to feel that climate change is too big to solve, but we already have the answers. Now it's a question of making them happen, to work. All of these solutions need strong international cooperation between governments and businesses, including the most polluting sectors. Individuals can also play a part by making better choices about where they get their energy, how they travel, and what food they eat. But the best way for anyone to help stop climate change is to take collective action. Heal the earth, heal our future. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Do you know to catch our next exciting content? See you in the next video.